It was meant to be another buzzworthy night on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and when Johnny Depp walked onto the stage, the audience erupted in cheers. Wearing his signature hat and layered jewelry, Johnny looked relaxed, smiling as he took his seat. Kimmel welcomed him warmly, joking about Depp's ever-changing roles and quirky public persona. The first few minutes went smoothly, touching on Depp's latest film project and his unique approach to acting. But then, with what appeared to be a smirk, Kimmel shifted gears. "So, Johnny," he began, "how's your courtroom acting career going these days?" The crowd chuckled nervously. Depp froze for a split second before responding, "I thought we were here to talk about the work, not rehash tabloid trash." His voice was calm, but the temperature in the room visibly dropped. Kimmel, unfazed, continued pressing the subject. "Come on, man, you've got to admit it's become part of the Johnny Depp lore, hasn't it?" The host was referring to Depp's very public legal battle with his ex-wife, and though he attempted to pass it off as light-hearted banter, Depp clearly wasn't having it. "There's nothing funny about being lied about for years," Johnny shot back, this time more forcefully. The audience, unsure how to respond, fell silent. Kimmel tried to recover by awkwardly laughing, saying, Okay, I'm just poking a little fun." But Depp wasn't amused. He leaned forward and said, "There's a line, Jimmy, and you just leapt over it." The tension became immediately visible, and even the show's band stopped playing their light background cues. Trying to regain control, Kimmel abruptly switched to a pre-planned segment. "Let's play a game of rapid-fire questions," he exclaimed, reaching for cue cards. But Johnny wasn't interested. He waved off the game and leaned back in his chair, visibly agitated. "You can't toss a grenade and then pretend it didn't go off," he said. The audience gasped softly, sensing the authenticity of Depp's frustration. Jimmy tried to pivot yet again, saying, "All right, let's talk about the movie. Of this new role is intense, right?" Depp, however, had emotionally checked out. His responses became curt and dry, making it clear the energy in the room had completely shifted. Gone was the usual sparkle in his eye and dry humor now. He looked tired and cornered. Kimmel, perhaps realizing he had misread the situation entirely, tried to make a heartfelt appeal. "Johnny, I didn't mean to bring up anything painful. I thought we could laugh about it now." Depp narrowed his eyes and responded, "That's the problem. You think pain is funny." The audience fell into complete silence, and Kimmel's grin faded completely. For the first time in the segment, Jimmy seemed speechless. Depp looked off camera, then began unhooking his microphone. "I think we're done here," he muttered. A few murmurs from the crowd followed. Kimmel stammered, "They don't go. Mona, we're just getting started." But Depp had already stood up. He gave a cold glance at the host and turned toward the exit, no longer hiding his disgust. The cameras didn't cut away fast enough. Johnny walked off stage without saying goodbye to the audience or acknowledging the applause that tried to follow him out. Kimmel sat frozen for a moment, clearly rattled, before trying to laugh it off. "Well, that went well," he said with a nervous chuckle. But the audience's reaction was subdued at best. The show abruptly cut to commercial, leaving viewers stunned. Within minutes, the clip had made its way onto social media, igniting a storm of reactions. The #DeppStormsOut began trending, with thousands of posts analyzing what had just happened. Some blamed Kimmel for crossing the line, while others debated whether Depp had overreacted. Either way, the moment was unforgettable. Backstage sources revealed that Johnny had asked the producers before the show to avoid personal questions unrelated to his film work. The agreement, it seems, had been broken the moment Kimmel mentioned the trial. For Depp, who had endured years of public scrutiny and legal battles, the wounds were still fresh, and turning them into punchlines was far from acceptable. Those close to him said he felt blindsided and ambushed, and walking off the show was his way of taking back control of the narrative. In an entertainment landscape that often favors sensationalism over sensitivity, Depp's decision stood out. It wasn't just about pride, it was about setting a boundary in a space that rarely respects them. The fallout was immediate. Journalists debated whether Kimmel's style had finally gone too far. Editorials popped up across major news outlets discussing the ethics of celebrity interviews. Should guests expect to be blindsided in the name of comedy? Or does respect still have a place in late-night TV? Some insiders argued that Kimmel had crossed into tabloid territory, sacrificing journalistic integrity for shock value. Others defended him, saying he was just doing his job of poking fun at everything and everyone. But in this case, Johnny Depp's reaction sparked a larger conversation. Many praised him for walking out, calling it a rare moment of truth in an otherwise artificial industry. The next day, Jimmy Kimmel issued a short statement. "I regret if anything I said offended Johnny. That was not my intention." But fans weren't convinced. Many demanded a full apology, while others questioned why boundaries agreed upon behind the scenes weren't honored. Meanwhile, Johnny Depp remained quiet. His team offered no additional comments, but his actions spoke louder than any press release. By refusing to be the subject of another public joke, he reminded everyone that celebrities are not props for ratings, they're human beings with limits. The confrontation had become more than just a viral clip-up, it was now a defining cultural moment about privacy, respect, and decency in entertainment. Interestingly, Johnny's exit from the show did not hurt his public image. In fact, it boosted it. Support poured in from fans, fellow actors, and even some members of the press who've long felt that celebrity interviews have become more about humiliation than conversation. "Johnny just did what we all wish we could do when someone crosses a line," one tweet read, summing up the public sentiment. While some viewers were disappointed not to hear more about his upcoming project, many felt the interview had already said more than enough. It showed Depp's resilience, his unwillingness to be reduced to his past, and his demand for dignity in a world that too often forgets it. As time went on, the incident remained one of the most talked about moments in recent late-night TV history. It wasn't just about Johnny Depp storming off, it was about what that action represented. It challenged the norms of the celebrity-media relationship and forced audiences to ask, when did we become so comfortable with watching people squirm for our entertainment? For Johnny, the walkout wasn't a loss, it was a declaration, a statement that even in a culture obsessed with access and spectacle, one can still choose self-respect. And in doing so, Johnny didn't just leave the stage, he left behind a powerful message that echoed far beyond the studio walls.